Okay, today is the 27th May of 2021, and today's motion is this House believes that there is too much violence on media, and I'm going to be contra with it. Okay, let's get to it. So, before we get to my arguments, I'm going to say the definition of violence first. The definition of violence is the intentional use of physical force or power threatened or actual against oneself, another person, or against a group or community that either results in or has a high or has a likelihood of resulting in injury, in death, psychological harm, maldevelopment, or deprivation. Okay. Now let's get to the media. Let's get to the definition of media. The term media is the plural form of medium. It refers to the communication channels through news, through music, movies, education, promotional messages, and other channels. And it also includes newspaper, magazines, television, radio, billboards, basically a mass communication. What I believe in this motion is, I believe that media is the TV show, movies, pictures, and so on. Picture or video related media, because I think a violation could be shown in those media in only picture or either picture or video, right? There was this professor of psychiatry at Wayne State University. Her name was Tanai. She said you could turn on the television and violence is still there. You could go to the movie. You go to movie studio, and you could watch a movie, and guess what? The violence will be there. And I think what she meant was there's a lot of violence going on right now in the media, as I've said, movies or TV shows, right? There has been a $3.5 million research on 1993. Okay. It has stated that 57% of TV programs contain violence, and also the perpetrators of violence right there go unpunished. They were go unpunished 73% of all the time, and about 25% of violent acts involve handguns with it. It stated also in broadcast television series, a lot of 3,381 acts of violence were identified within 284 series episodes. Over half of these acts could be described as serious violence. What I mean serious violence is they could be injuring someone or killing someone, something like that. Serious. And also the funny thing right now is that actually the number of violence of the number of violent crimes has been falling, but also the public perception to violence is created, or violence is strongly correlated to media, has increased. But according to the U.S. Bureau of Justice Statistics, the overall violent victimization rate, for example, rape and assaults, it has been decreased by 40% from 2001 to 2010. And similarly, also, magically, the murder rate in U.S. has dropped by a half, from 9.8 to 5.0. It happened from 1991 to 2009. It has dropped a half, as you could see, and it has been a very long time. It has been a very, very long time that public perception believes that aggressive behavior that resulted in violence is strongly correlated to media. Let me show you why. This is one of the best examples. There was this accident in 1991, a school shooting accident. Two teenager boys murdered 12 schoolmates and a teacher, and also injured 21 others. This was in Columbine High School in Colorado, and they were both playing a lot of violent video games when they were alive. But despite them playing video games, I can tell you, those are not the only reason why they ended up killing a lot of people and ended up killing themselves too. Why did they do that? Is because they were having a lot of risk factors back then. Before they were playing a lot of video games, they were also depressed. They were also depressed. They were also psychopaths. They were also lonely. They were also suicidal, or you could say they were both mentally ill. I agree that media violence is only one of many risk factors for aggressive and violent behavior. Furthermore, extremely violent behavior never occurs just because there is only one risk factor. And I also believe that a healthy, well-adjusted person, or just a healthy person, a normal human being with just only a few risk factors, is not going to become perpetrators of violence, or she or he will become a school shooter just because they start playing a lot of violent video games, or watching a lot of violent or watching a lot of violent movies, right? It won't happen just because they're doing that. The major cause of it is because they've had a lot of risk factors back then. A lot of perpetrators of violence does it because there were a lot of risk factors back then. Just not only because of the media. You are focusing on the wrong thing if you are thinking the media is the reason why they are doing it. The major factors are maybe they were mentally ill, they were depressed, they were suicidal, they've had a revenge, and so on and so on. There are so many motives, there are so many risk factors, right? In conclusion, is that we cannot deny that the number of violence in media, especially TV shows or movies, are growing a lot. For example, The Punisher, Mortal Kombat, The Raid, and etc. But those are not the major reason that violence is happening right now. It is mainly because they've had a lot of risk factors before they were doing it. Before they were watching some violent TV show, or they were playing some violent video games, right? And I believe that it is normal. It's very normal to have violence in TV shows or movies, because a lot of people actually enjoy it. Or you could say it is entertaining for majority of people. But as I've said, a person could not be a perpetrator of violence just by watching some TV shows, violent TV shows, or playing some violent video games. No, they will become a school shooter just because they were watching or playing some video games. As I've said, it is because they've had a lot of risk factors, and yeah, maybe they were mentally ill and so on. So that's it from me. I'm sorry if there's any mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.